All right, this is the experiment of cased versus no casing. Pseudo casing layers for those who want to be a lot more specific. Now check this out. These are Pio Pinos. This is the cased. And we have Pio Pinos, liquid culture to grain on September 24. Spawn to bulk on October 15. This one is the cased. And we got pins on October 22. Today's October 28. So that means we got pins in only 7 days. And we harvest on day 6, which is today. But these were really ready yesterday. So in 5 days, they were already ready for harvest. Now they pinned a little bit faster than I'm used to. They all usually pin about day 8. So they pinned on day 7, which is cool. Now let's talk a little bit about the differences. A couple of things were surprising. One, that both of them pinned the exact same day. 7 days after spawn to bulk, which is really fast, really cool. This one, of course, as you'll see in the pictures, had a lot more coverage. And I had pins like covering the whole substrate pretty much. The cased one. But the mushrooms didn't cover the whole substrate. Now, this one, the one that is not cased, I did not get pins all over, which is interesting because it means that even though this one pinned uniformly, it still didn't grow mushrooms all over the place, which is what I get a lot, especially with my more exotic and better curated and worked on mycelium that I save. These Pio Pinos, like I mentioned before, I got liquid culture, multiplied the liquid culture, but I haven't really worked on them. I haven't, developed the strain at all. Because I just use them to eat and they grow fast, doesn't matter. Now, this is very interesting. I thought that I was going to get a lot better growth with the cased because my theory has always been that the casing layer protects the mycelium down here. It lets them colonize the whole thing better before they start pushing through the casing layer. I was surprised at how much bigger these got. And I'm going to weigh them separately to see the difference. But I'm surprised at how much bigger the uncased ones were. And also, I did not have any issues at all with contamination. I didn't expect any, but I've always thought that casing layer also helps with that. So basically, this went against my prior experiments where I'm getting bigger mushrooms with no casing. So my next experiment is going to be grow my exotic strains with no casing layer. The ones that I grow that are use the same growing methods as the Pio Pinos, and they're everything about the process is completely exact. It is exactly the same. So I'm going to do that and test without casing layer because the coverage is pretty much the same, but the size is a lot bigger without the casing layer, and that is surprising. And I don't have an explanation as to why. So more experimentation to come. But this was interesting. Again, I'm always riding the razor's edge between simplicity and efficiency, and If I don't have to add a casing layer, one less step. So I'm gonna keep testing this. This is very interesting, very, very interesting. Now you're gonna see the weights. I'm gonna separate these and weigh them. Cool deal. Good experiment. All right, let me give you a better view. Check this out. The uncased, I just take them off and plop them up here if you've seen me do before. The uncased, see the grains showing? And you can see some of the pins that didn't develop around there. And then the cased one, you can see that it was covered in pins. These didn't grow. But all those wider spots were pins. They were all over. Look at that. Look at these little guys. These are tiny little, they even have heads. They're real pretty pins. These down here. So this was covered a lot more than this one. But these, see, we got some other pins right here. I hope you can see that well. You got more pins back there. Look at that. Tiny little, pretty little pins. But you can see the difference. We'll see how it comes out in weight. Even though these are bigger, these may have more, we'll see.